Hello and welcome to Culture Shocked, the pop culture podcast brought to you by four aging millennials and our outdated opinions. With me as always today is...
Hey, I'm Adrian, and where's everybody going? Bingo?
I'm Corey. Video games are cool.
And I'm Mike. Thank you, Mario, but our princess is in another castle.
Hey, little bastard.
And I'm your host, Doug. And if you didn't catch on, today we're just going to kind of riff on just some general random video game talk. We don't have any planned topics for you this time. We're just trying something a little new. So let us know what you think in the comments.
Video games.
So, Corey, what have you been playing recently?
Oh, yeah, great. Go to me. Actually,
You're always normally last in the beginning, so I just figured I'd hit you up right away.
wait, we're talking to me now. I actually just finished The Last of Us. I never really got around to finishing it.
Yes.
It's a great fucking game. I can't believe I never played it before because I only played about half of it before. I owned it all these years. Never really gave it a shot. Adrian talked about it constantly, and I always wanted to give it a shot, but I never really did. And now that I finished it, holy shit, I can't wait to bought the second one as soon as I finished it.
Yes.
I was the same as you, actually. I only ever played it about halfway through. I've never personally had the chance to finish it, but I've never owned it. I was playing a friend's copy years ago, and I kind of backed myself into a corner because I was playing on hard, and I did not scavenge enough, so I had not enough. And the part I was at was I didn't have enough ammo. I could not survive. It was impossible, and I had to survive until an elevator or some shit came in this abandoned, it was like a basement that was flooded in like this big ass hospital or something, and you had to start a generator. And the horde of zombies on hard was obnoxious. Well, not zombies, but whatever.
Yeah, you have to
infected.
go back upstairs and come down and start the generator and go back up and sneak around.
And I did not have the supply. I didn't realize scavenging was mandatory in hard mode, and so I just didn't have anything. Like I couldn't. It was undoable. I tried it for hours.
There are clickers and what are the fat clickers called?
Bloaters or
bloaters. There are clickers and bloaters everywhere on that scene. You have to throw shit around and sneak.
And I don't know what difficulty you guys played on, but in hard, there's more.
Yes. Not scavenging for supplies in hard mode. That's a rookie mistake. You hate to see it.
It was my first playthrough. I just pick hard because I usually just do in most games, and I've been punished for it a couple of times, and that was one of them.
Like, I am honestly so glad that you finally gave that game a chance. If anybody listened to our first general video game episode, I believe it's in my top 3. I think I had it number 3 of all time. Still, to me, the greatest story ever told in a video game.
It's a beautiful story.
It really is.
I guess I could have just asked you directly what your thoughts were, since I knew that you've played it and love it to absolute death and back.
Love it. It is. Now, here's an interesting question I want to throw out. I've heard some people say, I've read these lists before, and they're along the lines of name one of your favorite games that you don't think really has much replay value. And I've seen people say The Last of Us, and to an extent, I kind of understand that because it is a self-contained story. And when you get to the end of it, there's no like new game plus. There's no reason to really dive back into that world. Would you guys agree that it's kind of a one and done, even though it's fantastic?
I actually love replaying games like that. Like Final Fantasy X, for example, I've probably beaten 15 times, and that would fall in that same category of once you've done it, you've done it.
Well, shit, in that case, I'm in trouble.
But I can see why people. It'd be like some people don't rewatch movies. Some people don't want to replay a game. Like once they know it, they know it. They don't care to do it.
I feel like the biggest difference between that and Final Fantasy X is the sphere grid makes that replayable because you can mess with what character does what. There are different things you can do in replays of Final Fantasy X. The story doesn't really change, but
I'd argue you could do that.
Different ways to
like
play
say
it.
you only melee. Try a run where you only melee kill things, or try a run where you don't kill anything.
If you're going to be
and
that
shit like
broad,
that.
you can do that with any game.
That's what I mean. Like
Exactly.
I just brought up the question because I see why some games, like more, I don't know how to describe it, video gamey games, I guess, are like infinitely replayable. But like games with a story like The Last of Us or like Uncharted, stuff like that, I could see those being more of a one-time playthrough. And I've played The Last of Us multiple times, for the record.
It's like that. There's that massive. There's like that thing where, especially in modern video games, there's the interactive media, like interactive movie style. Not that Last of Us is like that, because it actually has a lot of like core gameplay stuff going on.
It's not Metal Gear Solid 4.
Exactly, but then there's also like the that thought of like the Donkey Kongs of the world and stuff, where you're just shooting for the high score and stuff.
Exactly.
So, like, there's like this weird disconnect for people, and they kind of like they just see one as you have to do it this way and one is the other way. But honestly, as long as you're enjoying it, you're playing it right.
I could play Ocarina of Time over and over and over again. That's one of those games where there's really nothing you can do differently to beat that game.
Ocarina of Time is a lot more open world with some like side mission stuff you can do, though.
That is true.
Last of Us is way more.
It's
linear.
no Breath of the Wild, but yeah.
Last of Us Last of Us is a very linear, parallel, like one story beat. So I could see why people would say that, but I'm just saying I don't agree with it. But it was one of those games that was frequently mentioned in the list of like, this is one of my absolute favorite games of all time, but I don't really need to play it more than once.
I completely get it.
Yeah, I can see that with that game more than others. I could see that. If I ever finish it, it'll probably just be a one-time thing. I don't think I'd ever go back and do it again.
Absolutely. And Corey, obviously I'm not going to, now that you're so invested in the world, I'm not going to give anything away, but I know that you come from a place you don't usually let other people's opinions sway you on any medium, like a movie, a TV show, a game. You're pretty good at forming your own opinion. So I really want your honest evaluation after you get done with The Last of Us 2, because I think it's unfairly criticized and maligned by a lot of people for just a few events throughout the game. Overall, it's a fucking fantastic game. So even though I'm trying to sway you right now.
This is one of the games that I actually usually end up accidentally hearing a lot of details about games before I play them. I haven't heard anything about this one, so
I'm so happy you haven't.
I'm trying to keep this one. I've seen like the trailers and stuff where it seems like something might be getting ready to happen, but I'm going to keep it for when I actually play through the story.
He was a ghost the whole time. Oh, that's the Sixth Sense.
Oh, yeah. Damn it! Joel was a ghost the whole time. Joel was infected the whole time.
He was.
Fucking. Well, what do you guys think about the show coming up? Out of curiosity,
dude, I'm super excited. Is it Adrian Pascal? Right, is going to be Joel.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, that sounds right.
Dude, I can't wait for that show. Did you see the couple pictures that were released for it?
They look spot on.
It looks spot on. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that's gonna be an HBO show, right?
I can't remember if it's. You're probably right. Yeah,
they've been kind of killing it, so I'm assuming it's gonna be pretty good. And it's a good.
He's played by Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I was gonna say I didn't mean to. I was gonna the guy that plays the Mandalorian.
Same guy.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if Mike. I don't know Mike's history with the game, so I don't know if he has any thoughts. But I'm definitely excited for it.
He doesn't play a lot of horror games.
I don't play a lot of horror games, really.
I never saw that as a horror game. Now that I think about it, but it totally would be, I guess.
I've watched people play, games like that. Myself, I can't get into playing them. I'd rather watch them.
Right. It's more of a horror game than Resident Evil 6.
It's kind of like I guess some people consider like the first BioShock a horror game, but I've never felt that way playing it before, and I've beaten it like 18 times.
I think as you get more comfortable with the world in BioShock, it becomes less terrifying.
I guess the first playthrough, the doctor in the beginning scared the.
Oh my god!
He glitched, so he wasn't where he was supposed to be. He just never showed up. So I'm like, what? So I'm like, okay, I guess nothing's happening. I don't know what's going on, and I had no idea what was going on. Just like this, like fucking, and so I'm leaving, and he's just in the hallway and fucking comes at me all of a sudden. It scared the shit out of me. I was like, what the fuck?
To me, the first BioShock, just like that first, I would say the opening 30 minutes to hour, just like discovering the world of Rapture. Like, it was so unsettling, but somehow still beautiful. like when you're first going under the water and discovering the city, like there's a part of you that wants to check every corner of the Rapture. And but it's so scary at the beginning. I think they did great with the atmosphere. I felt very unsettled for at least the first hour in that game. And then the first time you see a Big Daddy, of course, that's awful.
Oh yeah. The Big Daddy lost a little bit of steam when you were able to play as one, though. Kind of took it out a little bit.
Are we still talking about a game right now?
The little sister was a lot less terrifying.
No, we're
The
talking
Big
about the
Daddies and
Adam.
Little
We're talking about the Adam
The big
Sandler movie.
Did you, in 2 with the big sisters?
Yeah.
Those things were fucked up.
Though, yeah, very weird.
I didn't like that game much though, but
By the time it got to Infinite, the third one, it was less about scaring you and more about immersing you in a world of
Infinite actually has one of my favorite video game
hallucinations.
stories of all time.
It's pretty good. It was more about like seeing these weird visions and meeting these crazy people, and it was more about the people.
It was so like the game's old, so I don't care about spoilers. So no spoiler warning. When you start like tearing through different realities and like and everything just keeps being suddenly rapidly changed. Like you're in this building, but you just went through like a fucking tear in space time, and now you're in this building again, but everything's different because in this fucking reality, no, you didn't do this, that didn't happen. These guys it was like it just started to be like, oh my god, this game's going way deeper than I expected. Like I was not prepared for how crazy that shit got by the ending.
Yeah, Bioshock Infinite turned into like Inception.
There's always a lighthouse.
Infinite's a crazy game. I'm still a fan of the original Bioshock. That's my favorite of the series. But I love
I'm
Infinite,
torn. I love them both so much.
and we don't talk about Bioshock 2.
Yeah, that's
Well, then
the
that's my
stepchild
favorite.
Under the
Oh, then
under the
that's my
stairs.
favorite. Mr. King of Controversy. We don't do that here.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, you can say that. It's just gonna like
No,
make
I didn't
everybody
like the
like
second one. Though.
judge
I don't
you.
think I even finished the second one.
We're just gonna edit that out. You didn't even say
2
anything.
sucked.
I own the collection of all three of them, and I still
There
haven't
will
played the
not be
second
any editing out.
Yeah, Corey, you can say that, but you're going to be judged as harshly as Mike when he says he hates Breath of the Wild. He hates that game.
I don't.
I know.
Oh,
Anything
God.
he says trying to argue that's gonna get edited out.
You just said nothing's getting edited out.
Except you trying to say that you don't hate Breath of the Wild. That's staying.
I actually love Breath of the Wild.
We're gonna find a clip of you saying yes, and we're just gonna put it right there.
Yep. And that should be easy.
like the Rick and Morty. Yes, yes.
We already have
There you
like
go, we just
17
got
of
it.
you doing that, and now we have another. But yeah. Well, since you brought up Breath of the Wild and Mike's fucking utter hatred for it,
His disdain for
God.
my God,
Were we really gonna get into this?
we can, yeah.
it.
I poured upwards of 5 hours into that game. So
Wait, is that how much you've played?
yes, I've only played about 5 hours. of
Can
that
can we
game.
be honest and just say that Wind Waker's better than Breath of the Wild?
That is my favorite Zelda. Of
I
all
love
time.
You like
Waker.
Wind Waker more than Breath of the Wild?
Wind Waker's my favorite Zelda of all time, but I separate the Zelda experiences into different categories. Like there's the older 2D ones and the handheld ones that fall into the one category. Then there's what the 3D formula like Zeldas were from Ocarina of Time to Twilight Princess that were their own category, and then Breath of the Wild's the beginning of the third new brand category.
I don't do
'cause
that.
They're all different.
I was gonna say. So in other words, you cop out.
I mean, they're not comparable to a point.
I don't do that. They have the Zelda name on them. I'm putting them all together in one category.
In just one big list.
And you know what? It's hard for me to say that I hate a Zelda game. There's not one of them that I would say that I hate.
Twilight Princess sucks. It's garbage.
I love Twilight Princess.
Twilight Princess is so boring.
It was Ocarina of Time with like 9 hours of bullshit extra shit that was not fun.
I loved Wind Waker. Yeah, I have yet to play Skyward Sword. I got it for my Switch to.
I do need to get that.
the remastered
It
one or
looks
whatever.
fun.
As far as Breath of the Wild goes, I love the concept of the game. I do. I have obviously played the game for 70 plus hours. Probably way more than that. It's probably in the hundreds. Doug says it's a different genre or a different category now. It didn't feel like a Zelda game. The most Zelda thing to it is that all the shrines have the puzzles.
Real quick, did you know it's actually the most similar Zelda to the very original one that's ever been made?
It's the most what?
Really?
It's the most similar to the original Zelda out of all Zeldas, because in the original Zelda, there was no structured order. You could literally just go anywhere on the map if you could survive and walk into any dungeon. There was no set of rules that you had to follow to get there or anything. You could just do whatever you wanted.
I do like that. I'm not saying that Breath of the Wild doesn't feel like a Zelda game to me because there's no like linear story. You got, I don't know. You know what my biggest gripe about the game? That it's the weapon system, honestly.
I'd agree with you on that.
Oh, I hate.
I don't like that system either.
No Zelda game before this, and I mean I know that it's a different category, has ever had this thing where, oh, you got to find these and find this, and then if you use them, they break, and then you got to go find more. The very first time I played it, I had to reset and start all over. The very first time I played it, I backed myself into like kind of like a corner where I had crappy weapons. They all kept breaking, and I kept dying. And so I stopped playing for months. And then by the time I picked it back up, I was like, I barely remember what I was doing, so I'm just going to start over.
I understand Mike's dislike now. It's because he sucks at it. Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
No, I'm very close to beating it now, but
I like Breath of the Wild. I'm good at it.
People tend to make confessions when they're being recorded, and we just got it from Mike.
The honest answer was I just wasn't any good. Kind of like me and Last of Us. I never finished it because I wasn't prepared and sucked.
So when you get the Master Sword in Breath of the Wild, can that break?
Sort of, but not really.
If you use it for what its purpose is, it doesn't lose any energy. But if you use it to kill things that it's not supposed to kill, it loses energy, and then you got to wait like a while.
Like Zelda, like Princess Zelda,
temporarily powers down. Yeah,
which is also stupid.
So if you use it to kill Princess Zelda, you don't get it back.
Obviously,
I mean,
what else would you use it for?
It's meant to repel evil. I don't necessarily know if she's evil.
Oh,
Link's got the Master Sword for Zelda. Wink, wink.
Plot twist: Zelda's the villain.
I don't want to get too far into like spoilers for this game because it is a little newer of a game. But when you finally get to Ganon's castle, was the princess in a different castle, or is she there?
I forgot. Mario is wielding the Master Sword. My bad.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's the one thing I always thought Mario games would be missing is swords.
You guys ever play Super Mario RPG?
Oh, yeah.
This is relevant to what you were saying.
I love Super Mario RPG.
When that game was first announced, they announced it in front of a stage of people, right? Square and Nintendo were like, we're doing this joint thing. This is our big announcement. And they couldn't decide if they wanted to dress these Mario characters and put them in like armor with weapons and shit, like in Final Fantasy, or like do more or more like cartoonish style things. Like
I actually remember that. I remember seeing that.
What they did is they when they introduced it, they were like, we have this, and like they showed like Mario or something with a sword or something, and and the audience cheered, and then they showed them like the one with like the hammer and stuff, and they cheered louder, so that's the one they went with.
Yeah.
That's very similar to like with Kingdom Hearts. Disney did not want their characters to have swords. They didn't want them to look like they're wielding swords.
Yet they created Riku 2, the most fucking unforgiving piece of shit boss, like non-side boss of all time.
I was gonna say I only had 3 wishes in my video game life, and that's to see Donald, Goofy, and Mario all wear chainmail. So I got 2 out of 3. And I can live with that.
I have some pretty interesting fan art I can show you online. I can give you your 3rd.
Hell, I might have some fan art on my computer.
Is this Rule 34 territory, Corey?
No.
Oh God, here we go. Yeah, but
we don't need another Bowsette.
I just want to say this. I just want to say this real quick. It can be edited out, or we can put this before the Mario we got into.
Nothing's getting edited.
You don't have to say it could be edited out before something that might get edited out. Just future reference.
I am in the minority of I'm not super invested in the Zelda franchise. I love the Ocarina of Time. I love Breath of the Wild. Majora's Mask was really good.
That was my old favorite.
I don't really have any experience with the 2D games. I haven't played. I've played Wind Waker. I haven't played Twilight Princess. I'm not huge into the Zelda thing. Like when there was
your opinion sucks.
Right, sucks. I just had to put it out there so people can know the real me. I like Zelda. I don't love Zelda.
That's literally my favorite game franchise.
So how dare you?
I didn't actually get into it until I was like 16, 17. I didn't play them growing. I didn't play Ocarina of Time until way after, until like
that explains
almost
why you don't
Twilight
like
Princess.
it as much as a lot of people.
I do love Ocarina of Time. It's just,
but not as much.
He doesn't have the nostalgia.
Yeah, like that to me when the 64 came out, Ocarina of Time was one of the that was one of the biggest games for the 64.
No, absolutely.
Like that is when I got into Zelda. Was
that and WCW
that was
versus
the
NWO.
game.
Yes.
Nitro, yeah.
Nitro, baby.
Actually, WCW versus NWO was an excellent effing game.
Yes, it was.
Oh
It
yeah,
was.
I miss those games. They don't make them like that anymore.
If you were a wrestling fan, that was one of the best
do
64
anything.
games
You
ever.
could run backstage, pick up 2x4s, club, do whatever you want.
What about Gex 2, Enter the Gecko?
Hell yeah.
And that's all I have to say about that.
Do you guys remember at the end of Gex 3 when he totally got it on with a human woman?
Was there a third Gex?
Yeah,
It-
literally the game ends.
Am
He's
I
in
missing a whole entire series called Dex?
Gex.
Enter the Gecko.
Oh, well,
This series actually
He's
actually
James
thought
Bond of
it,
geckos.
it created like a fucking mascot that could rival like Sonic and Mario. So
Yeah.
did Bubsy though. Like,
And here's the
he's-
thing. He was even better than Sonic and Mario.
he was
So-
so good the
because-
world couldn't
because he
handle him,
got-
so they just stopped making
Hey,
him
Because he
forever.
got
how dare you?
that dude fucks.
Yeah, that gecko fucks. Years later, why did Sonic Adventures steal a human female protagonist from Gex? Gex did it first.
It's true.
The Sonic storylines have gotten really awkward.
They've
and
gotten
weird.
really
I don't think
weird.
those guys have no idea what their fan base likes. That's why the fan base had to go out and make it themselves.
Do you mean like Jerry Seinfeld B movie weird?
No,
Well,
nothing's
that was-
quite that weird.
Yeah, no, but I really want to drive home this point because it's important. At the end of Gex 3, right? Let's get back to
You know,
this.
Gex was so good that he had to retire and become a shitty commercial agent for Geico.
Right. At the end of Gex 3, Gex is in a bedroom with this human woman that he's apparently with, and he just looks at the camera, he says, "It's tail time." And then that's it. The game ends.
Was that in a Nintendo game?
The PS1
It was a
was a
PlayStation
wild
game.
console.
Oh, okay.
PS1.
The PS1 had all kinds of weird shit, like
It did.
Panda fucking Monium.
Pandemonium was awesome though.
That game is it's cool, but it's so fucking weird.
Have you tried to play it now though?
It's on.
unplayable.
I can't even like look at it without getting a headache.
It's horrible.
It looks so fucking.
Too many colors, too much blocks. It doesn't.
Yeah,
work.
there's way too much going on. But like as a kid, that was like, oh my god, this is so cool.
Anyway, I wanted to get one point out about Zelda that I missed.
Yeah,
You guys were talking about when you got into it. I think I wore out our Super Nintendo copy of Link to the Past. I loved that game so freaking much. And Adrian, it was like the only game that when I played it, he really didn't watch. He would watch me play Mario. He'd watch me play any other game. But when I played that, he kind of just did his own thing.
I only played it like 2 or 3 years ago personally, and it's fun, but
I would have watched it if it was a better game. Yeah, that's right. Come at me.
That's
Come at
probably
me.
the biggest landmine that's been stepped on since we started this podcast.
I don't
Be
hate
careful.
How
I
dare
don't know
you?
if you understand the rabid fan base that game has.
But Mike, understand when I say that I understand it's deeply insulting to you, but I could probably do the same thing. Corey and I probably our favorite series is Resident Evil. Have you ever played Resident Evil games, or do you enjoy them?
Not really.
Well, see, fuck off.
I'm not gonna sit here and say they suck. They're just not. They're not something that
I
I'm
never-
into.
I never said Zelda sucks. I said it needs to be a better game.
Did he not
You
just say
guys are
Link to
really
the Past sucked?
He said he doesn't like it.
Yeah, I said I like Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, and Majora's Mask is okay. 3 games out of however long the series is. I mean, that's whatever.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, Link to the
There's a-
Past. The ones that
there's
we
a
don't
shit
talk
ton.
about for the one of Gamelon and shit aren't mentioned. Nintendo doesn't acknowledge they exist.
There are just as many games in the Resident Evil franchise, but only about 3 good ones.
Whoa. No
hey,
way.
hey.
That's a complete lie. I love a lot
You
of
can't call it 3 good ones just because 6 had all three storylines and 6
stories.
were the best 3.
them. You
I'm
leave
kidding.
Jake alone.
That's
That
right.
game sucks.
Leave
Original
Jake.
6
You
is
leave Jake.
crap.
You leave Jake Wesker out of this.
Jake Westford.
No,
He's not canon.
Good, because it
There
doesn't
are-
make sense.
there are at least 6 to 7 good Resident Evils. Corey,
There are
I
a
know
lot
you're
of them,
joking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we both love that series.
The one I played the most was 5, and it's just because it was co-op.
That was kind of cool, actually.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with friends.
It's not really a great game, but it's so much fun to play with a friend.
Doing a professional
It is.
run with your friend.
Chris
that
and
was a fun
Sheva
fucking
running
challenge.
around, kicking some motherfuckers.
It totally holds up as a multiplayer game.
Oh,
Finding all the
absolutely.
BSAA emblems and shit.
The
and-
motherfucking boulder punch.
It's famous. It's famous.
The whole like Wesker turning into like
Fighting
just,
him
like,
in a volcano.
stupid flailing thing was the most annoying thing I think I've ever.
That game turned Chris Redfield from a hero to a legend.
That's why when Chris Redfield was in Marvel's Capcom 3, he could kick the shit out of the Hulk.
Oh man, he's ripped in that game, even more than Resident Evil 5 itself.
Yeah. Oh my god.
He's almost as big as Nemesis in that game.
In a series of bad decisions, that might be the single worst, and 6 came out after it, so it's saying something.
That boulder punch paved the way for many Easter eggs and
hell yeah.
references to it over the years. So we've gotten our use out of it.
At least they realized it was like with the two newest Resident Evils. They obviously realized they fucking were going the wrong direction and are fixing it.
Bro, I love the Heisenberg reference to that in Resident Evil 8.
Oh,
when you're fighting Heisenberg and he's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and then that boulder punching asshole.
I thought you were talking about like some Breaking Bad reference. I was like,
"Oh yeah, you didn't see the episode where Walt plays Resident Evil with Walt Jr."
Heisenberg is this weird dude who lives in a factory who has magneto powers.
Yeah,
and he does, and he deals meth, right?
And he deals meth.
Probably. That's how he got the powers.
Walt was playing the game with Walt Jr. and he said, "What's his name?"
That looks like a Jill sandwich, son.
He said, "That's Chris Redfield." and then he ate breakfast. Walter Jr. loves breakfast.
And bacon. Anyways.
Oh my god.
But Zelda's just a weird like back to the Zelda thing. It's just
oh my
like
god,
a
are we
weird
still talking
thing.
about Zelda?
Yeah. I get why Ocarina of Time is so beloved as nostalgic. I'm hard pressed to see how people don't see that like Wind Waker did it like it just improved on something already good and
I loved Wind Waker.
People actually say Ocarina of Time's better, and that's just weird to me. It's like hard to imagine the first attempt at anything new being the best.
like Ocarina of Time better, but it's not better.
Okay, that's fair.
Wind Waker's the one that the animation was a little more like comic booky, right?
It was cel shaded, yeah. So it had like this. They actually referred to that Link as Toon Link.
Yeah, they got a lot of shit for that when it first came out,
and now it's why everybody loves it.
That's probably one of the ones that I really didn't get into.
Yep.
I think it's just a matter with that of like changing the game, you know, like for the same reason people say I'm catching fucking grenades this episode. But
you got to be careful. Zelda's
but for the same reason people say
I hate Twilight Princess, so I'm gonna get shit on. So
for the same reason people say Final Fantasy VII is the best Final Fantasy, even though 9 and 10 are both better than Final Fantasy VII.
So is 8.
Final Fantasy VII changed the game, you know.
Yes.
Wait, Doug, you didn't object to 9 and 10.
I'm not saying they're better, but I can see I love 9 and 10. I also like 8, but it's a fucking train wreck mess of a game.
It is. It is, and I love every second of it.
It's a little less of a train wreck than 7, which has a train wreck in it.
Hey, literally,
as far as Final Fantasy VII goes, like it changed the entire Final Fantasy like series, how they handled it.
Oh, it 100% did that.
That's the thing. After
major game
every
changer.
Final Fantasy has been different from the one before. Like they've never really like had the only formula that existed was you had a group of people and they leveled up, but the way that you did that was different in every game except 9 was like a callback to the classics. Even Final Fantasy 2 might have been the most unique
that goddamn leveling system in Final Fantasy 2.
And all Final Fantasy is literally like the James Bond of video games.
It really is. That's a good comparison.
Because aside from X and X2, they're not actual sequels. They're just
the only story
just another installment.
The only story thread is they have the same name.
It's a new story in a new world. That's
with
the beauty of it.
No callback to anything. Usually, they have their little Easter eggs, but.
If I can touch on what Mike was trying to say, I think he meant 6 to 7 was probably the biggest leap of technology between the two. You went from side-scrolling Pokemon style walking around towns to 3D blocks that you could barely tell what they were, but they were 3D.
The coolest part about 6 though was that you could see all the ideas that went into 7, 8, 9 in it, but
Oh,
it just
yeah.
wasn't 3D yet. And it was like after playing it, it was like, wow.
Yeah, they didn't have it quite yet.
6 I didn't play until recently. I had no idea it was so much like 7, 8, and 9.
Yeah, 7 was the first game I think I played in the series. I didn't play 6 till well into my adult.
Yeah, 7 was my first one.
Final Fantasy VI is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
one of
it's
the best.
great. I played it well into my adult life.
Sadly, 4 is the first one I've played because
That's a great game.
It is actually a really good game, but
My cousin sat on the Super Nintendo.
when you compare it as far as like graphically and like detailed, when you compare it to like the newer ones, it doesn't hold up.
Oh, and just as an aside, for those of you listening, if you're not familiar with it, you might be thinking, "Oh, I played Final Fantasy 2 on the Super Nintendo. What's 4?" That was 2 in America. So, and 6 was 3. So
The only reason I played 4 is because it came with the Final Fantasy Chronicles disc for PS1, which also included my favorite game of all time.
Chrono
if you
Cross.
haven't heard on every episode,
Chrono
Trigger,
Cross.
Ryan Reynolds, Allison Hannigan, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and Linkin Park. Okay.
Mike
Wow.
Mike is hoping for a new Chrono Trigger game where Ryan Reynolds and Allison Hannigan are the protagonists with a soundtrack by Linkin Park.
Well, one of those things absolutely can't happen because
Rest
Linkin
in
Park won't be making any music anymore.
Oh shit, yeah. I honestly didn't even think of that. That dude's dead, isn't he?
Oh man.
Yeah, incredibly.
Hey, you know what? Like you said earlier, I'll at least be able to get 2 of the 3 things.
See? 2 out of 3 is not bad. I'll tell you what.
Maybe Meatloaf will do the soundtrack.
Oh my God.
Anything for
When I saw Goofy with that big ass shield, I'm like, I never knew I needed that till now.
Yeah, like when I first heard of Kingdom Hearts, I was like, "This is the dumbest idea I've ever heard." And I
but
played
they're
Kingdom
so
Hearts,
For on paper, it was stupid.
but yet it is incredible, and I can't imagine a world without it now.
The story is actually really good. Like the first 2 games, anyway.
Yeah.
But I wasted so many potions giving them to Donald Duck.
Oh my god.
Oh my! Before
can't
you
give him
learned
too
that
many
you could
potions.
tell him not to fucking use them.
Yeah.
Donald's a fucking asshole.
Every time you get hit, Sora! Sora!
The best thing I ever learned to do was to set up Donald to use Arrow and turn off all his other spells and only let him cast Arrow all the time and heal.
Yes.
And that's it.
Bro, Arrow in that game is so slept on. Nobody uses it.
Broken. It's the
It's
strongest spell, hands down.
What I would do is I would give Donald no potions, and then me and Goofy would just fucking run.
See, Donald?
Fuck you, Donald.
Bro, you know what? I love Donald and Goofy, but fuck them. They totally turn on you at the end of that game. When Riku takes the Keyblade from you, they fucking turn their back so fast.
And the second you're like happy to see your like long lost friend you've been searching for, they're like, let's get the fuck out of here, dude. Fuck this guy. It's like, and they're like treating you like badly for like being happy that you found your friend that you thought was dead.
I'm pretty sure when Sora's on his hands and his knees, like Goofy spits on him.
Donald and Goofy were real pricks.
Goofy's just standing over him. Pathetic.
To be fair, Goofy's a giant dog. He probably is drooling on everybody.
I can just picture Goofy in that fucking meme.
Pathetic. Goofy's just like, Goofy's just like, oh, oh yeah.
Hell. Oh, but yeah, what a beautiful amalgam of just shit I never thought would work. Final Fantasy and Disney.
Yeah, by all rights, that should not have worked at all.
Not at all.
Every world was an incredible journey, even the Little Mermaid world.
Listen, Square is phenomenal at making games, though. Like,
yeah,
it's hard for me to pick a game that they've. I mean, they do exist, but like, it's rare for me that they make a game that sucks.
No, Rare makes great games.
Damn it, I was just getting ready. Damn it. Don't beat me to the Rare joke. But since we're talking about them both, I mean, it lends itself perfectly. You have Final Fantasy, you have Kingdom Hearts. How many times did it take you guys to beat Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1?
Oh my
A lot.
God.
Once I could do it, though, I could do it at any level. It didn't
That's
matter
it.
anymore. You had to perfect that fight.
Yeah, you
Sinnoh,
just have to
this is
figure
the
out his
most
pattern.
bullshit move I've ever seen.
It took me many hours and probably 3 remotes.
3 remotes. Literally, by the time I beat him, my health was like halfway across the screen.
Like I finally like I ended up being like max level the first time I beat him. So like, what's the reward? Oh, enough experience to get a level. Yay! So like when I play it in the future, like around level 50, I'm like, I'm just gonna try it, and it was really hard. But you just level up every time you kill them the whole way up.
Yeah. Doug's just like, this is bullshit.
I was like, yeah, I finally get the reward for beating this fucking boss, and it was just enough experience to get a. Though there was a version of the game released only in Japan where you're actually rewarded a special Keyblade called the One-Winged Keyblade for beating him that we just
Really?
didn't get in America.
That would have been
Yeah.
badass.
They got a bunch of versions of Kingdom Hearts we didn't get.
When it comes to video games, why do we always get gypped?
America.
Well, we get
sucks.
gypped by the companies that aren't based
Right.
here. Yeah.
I would say us compared to Japan, we get gypped in TV, movies, and video games. They have better almost everything.
Their advertising is fucking beautiful for anything.
It's so fun.
Oh, you guys like those Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yes,
commercials?
they
I
were
take it?
great.
I have another series I could show you about some gum commercial that's like the most interesting story ever told.
I'm referring to like the fact that
Long
McDonald's over there has their container makes it look like it's a Super Saiyan with the French fries coming out.
In Japan, Dragon
That's
Ball
so
Z
cool.
is probably the
It is
most
really cool.
popular thing. Period.
Well,
Every single
yeah.
person there knows everything.
They have like Super Saiyan ramen places over in Japan.
Like Dragon Ball is a fucking cultural phenomenon in Japan.
Is that
It's
like the
crazy?
Is that like the restaurant workers get all just jazzed up and throw the ramen in your face?
Well, they power up for 3
They
episodes.
scream at you and then throw ramen at you.
God, this is what a command wave feels like.
But they have to scream at you for 30 minutes before you get your food.
Oh my god! You know what? I'd fucking pay for that. I'll go. Let's go.
It's like, excuse me, but this is cold. Oh, sorry. Let me get you another one. Ah! What if you
I
just
said it's raw.
what if you just look behind the counter and you just see them back there? Ah!
Ramsey used to
Oh
work
my
there.
God. I don't have time for this. I'll be back tomorrow.
Oh shit! Yeah, but anyway, back to video
But
games.
that's how ramen bars work.
Speaking of Dragon Ball, how have they made 40 of them and only 2 of them have ever been good games?
Which Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball games do you consider to be good?
Budokai
2 and
1 and
3.
2. Or 2 and 3, yeah, that was 2 and 3.
I did like 1, but 2 and 3 were so much better.
I
realized
was
once that-
disappointed with Kakarot.
Yeah,
It had the potential to be fantastic. They had the open world thing going.
It's
for 'em.
certainly better than anything I had in years.
like for me, I love flying around the world. I love
Yeah,
I love
that was
reseeing the
fun.
story, but the combat is so fucking
Yes.
easy and
Yes.
simple, and I just can't get myself to play it because I don't want to just mash one button for the whole way through
Right.
the game.
They could have made it more challenging. The game just, I don't know. I won't say it was a swing and a miss.
It was a swing and a miss. It was.
well, I'm not going to say it's a swing and a miss because I've played some god awful Dragon Ball Z games.
Yes.
Kakarot is not a bad
It's like
Dragon Ball Z
imagine
game.
if you were watching Dragon Ball Z, but you had to spam a button nonstop the entire time you were doing it. That's
Right.
Kakarot.
Right.
It's a swing and a miss.
Agree to disagree.
There's a reason it's not a complete swing and a miss, and that's because it's so open world and so able to be fixed that they could patch it for years and years and make it a great game.
It's a
Yeah.
step in the right direction.
Has the potential to be what it needs to be. But yeah, it's lacking a little bit.
Yeah, I bought Kakarot day one.
Me too.
I bought the Ultimate Edition for like $80.
Yeah.
So like,
It-
that's,
It definitely didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be.
No, it was hyped
Fun with it
big.
still. Yeah, it was hyped. It was overhyped.
It was so hyped, and I bought into it, and I'm always disappointed when I do.
Yeah,
that.
Doug, being the resident fighting game person.
I was actually gonna kind of like picture this. Have you ever played like Devil May Cry or Bayonetta or God of War?
Oh yeah.
All of the above.
You know how the combat in the game
Yes,
it's
yes,
simple,
yes.
but it can be very deep if you want it to be. Like you can learn these complex combos and stuff to like do
Yeah.
stuff really cool.
Totally.
That's what Kakarot could have been.
I don't play fighting games very much.
Those aren't fighting games.
Those aren't fighting games. God of War and
Devil May Cry, God of War, and Bayonetta.
He said you can string together combos. That
Yeah,
automatically
like
takes me out.
you
of it.
have all your different like attack patterns that you can do. But if you after playing for a while, you can like learn that, oh, if I stop on this spot, it launches them in the air, and then I can stop doing that, jump up there and do some air thing and bounce them off the ground. And
That right there is the mind of a fighting gamer. Because I don't have that same mindset.
Corey, you can do stuff like that on like Spider-Man PS4
yeah,
Oh yeah.
or Arkham.
But that's a lot more button mashy.
you realize it's just kind of like, oh wait, but if I do this and then stop, I can do this cool thing. I guess maybe it is like a fighting game
No,
mindset. I don't know.
because the difference between Kakarot and Spider-Man for PS4 is that Spider-Man PS4's combat like system is actually good.
That's did you check out for the last 3 minutes, Mike?
Well, Mike,
That's what I'm talking about right now.
Mike, there's a lot of differences. Goku's a Saiyan. I'm pretty sure Peter Parker. Pretty sure Peter Parker's not a
never even
Saiyan.
seen a spider.
No, Peter Parker is a Spider-Man.
Oh, in Goku's world, there's like dogs walking around in clothes.
And dinosaurs still exist.
And pickle people.
And pickle people.
I think that's what they are.
Piccolo?
Pickle people.
That's the one.
I get what you're saying. That like you don't ever have to do that kind of stuff, and like think that's why I think it's cool is because you can just if you want to. But Kakarot is literally like, this is it. Like you press this button 4,000 times.
4,000 times.
And then eventually you do enough things and you can unlock a special move. And then you gotta go.
That activates by pressing the same button more. It's like, God damn it. Make me do something else.
That actually brings me to something I hate about a lot of video games is when you go through the entire game. Pokemon does it a lot. In fact, you go through the entire game, you grind and grind and grind, you finally beat the thing you're supposed to beat, and then it gives you some special fucking weapon or Pokemon that would have been very helpful the entire game.
That's why I like Final Fantasy games that have the secret bosses afterwards. So like that cool thing that you get at the end of the game has a use.
Well, that was the Chrono Trigger did that. They had all those side quests before you actually go to face Lavos. You get all that special shit. That's like the best weapons to have in the game before you fight them.
Yeah,
like instead of getting it after you beat them.
Not that you need any of it because you beat that level. You can beat the hardest boss in the game at level 50 without any of it.
And Corey, I think one of the worst culprits is one of our favorite games of all time. Mike might feel the same, but Super Mario 64. After you get all 120 fucking stars, there is nothing left to do in this game.
99 lives.
You see Yoshi, you get 99 lives, and you don't even get to ride Yoshi.
He jumps off the damn castle and you never see him again.
Yeah, Yoshi just fucking dips.
Imagine if you got up on top of that castle and you got to jump on Yoshi and then go play the game with Yoshi now.
Dude, you get 99 lives, and there's nothing to do in the game.
And a bitch ain't one.
Do you blame Yoshi for just leaving? He said, fuck this guy. You know, in previous games, he used to jump off me and let me die so he could...
Yeah, it was not the first... It wasn't the last Yoshi he saw, because that Yoshi died in a hole.
Yoshi's like, oh, this fucking guy.
To be fair, if you know anything about Mario, when he's riding Yoshi to make his tongue stick out, he is punching him in the back of the head.
Yeah, he's full-on clocking him in the back of the skull.
So Yoshi has all the right to say, fuck this guy.
Yoshi is a tool to Mario. He is not a pet or a friend.
Yoshi's like, oh, fuck, it's this drunk plumber again. Mario's like,
Mario's a baby. Mario's a baby. Yoshi's protecting him, so, you know.
Damn, that's true.
You know what they say, dogs are the most are more loyal than people.
Maybe Mario is just tripping on mushrooms all the time, and Yoshi's his dog.
Wow.
He's just walking around his apartment punching his dog in the back of the head.
To his dog, and he's like, let's go save the princess.
John Wick's about to fucking bust into Mario's apartment and kill him.
He didn't kill the dog, he's just punching him.
Yeah, he didn't kill his dog.
That's a dark fucking fan theory.
God, it explains a lot of things.
The princess that he's trying to save is actually his crippling depression. He's trying to get rid of it, but it's too far away.
That's why it's always in another castle.
It's never there.
Your happiness is in another castle.
This is in another castle. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's the dumbest, funniest thing I've heard.
And then Wario's just, I don't know, like this guilty conscience that Mario's contra.
Wario is his alter ego.
Wario is who he is in real life. Mario is who he thinks he is in his head.
Wahoo.
I always liked Wario.
Yeah, his first game on the original Game Boy was like sick, and then they made them really weird on the Game Boy Advance.
I don't know. I gave myself a massive headache playing Wario Land on the Virtual Boy. So.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah,
me
that's
too.
right,
Yeah,
That's
I'll
terrible.
never, ever, ever.
I could
ever
not
play that
stop
game.
playing that game.
bro. I got some sick neck muscles though. That thing weighed like 40 pounds.
Man, my eyes, everything hurts, and I'm dying. But I gotta keep doing this.
I still to this day can't figure out if they used more red or more black in that game.
See,
Yeah.
Mike, if you also wore glasses, I would blame your guys' need for glasses on the virtual.
Your theory almost holds up.
It actually does hold up because
Oh.
I do have glasses.
3 of the 4 of us have glasses, and only one of us hasn't played a Virtual Boy. You
Hey.
do the math, folks.
3 out of 4 optometrists recommend you don't play the Virtual Boy.
I think it's 4 out of 4.
Radiologist, cardiologist, your doctor, and Jim down the street says don't play the Virtual Boy.
I will say that if any of you out there own a Virtual Boy and it's in good condition and you have the original box, sell that motherfucker because it's worth a lot of money.
It'll be worth a lot more if you keep it. If you
Or
hold on
give it to me, P.O. Box 375.
and we'll play it for you live on stream on Mike's new Twitch channel.
Hey, Baker reviews.
That's not the what?
That was your plug opportunity, you fool, and you missed it. Moving
Well,
on.
man,
I said Baker reviews.
He missed it. He missed it. He doesn't get to say it now. Next
If you,
thing.
but if you do have a Virtual Boy now, you can trade it in for 1 Bitcoin.
Oh, I wish. 1 Bitcoin is $64,000.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, they're valuable.
A Virtual Boy ain't that much. No, they're like going for 7,000 brand new.
Wahoo!
Fuck.
I'm just gonna keep doing that. Wahoo!
That's how you should have opened the episode, I guess.
I'm gonna win.
I really should have. I'm Adrian. Wahoo!
Like Wario is the cheapest fucking computer in Mario Kart 64, and you just always heard him say, "I'm gonna win." He's like, "God,
I'm not gonna win."
cheating bastard."
And then Donkey Kong said,
Oh, speaking of Donkey Kong's voice, have you heard his voice in like the Mario Party games? It
No.
pisses me the fuck off.
We have
What
yet to
is it?
play that. We all have it, don't we?
"Does he sound like
I
Seth Rogen?"
haven't bought it yet.
No.
He sounds like Seth Rogen.
It's
You
gonna
will,
be weird
summer
hearing
of
Seth
22.
Rogen do it because I just can't picture Donkey Kong as a fucking crazy Jewish stoner.
Really? That's how I
What are you
always pictured
talking
him.
about? Didn't you ever meet Donkey Kong's grandpa in the
Wait,
games?
wait,
Have you guys ever seen the fucking really awful cartoon
Hold on,
that
hold
was
on.
in
Yes.
really weird 3D animation?
wait a second.
Yes, that
I,
was
would-
weird.
I just wanted to say real quick. This adds credence to Corey's theory. Maybe Donkey Kong is in Mario's head when he's tripping is just a really Jewish stoner.
He's like his accountant or
Mario's
something.
like, you look like a fucking gorilla.
Jim, I told you not to come to these meetings on those silly drugs you do. Who the fuck is Mario?
Donkey Kong is Mario's landlord. He's trying to keep
There
him
you
from
go.
getting to his apartment.
Donkey Kong. Oh, that's
Leave me
true.
alone, you asshole. Stop coming up here.
That's why he's always throwing
Mario
barrels
lives on
out.
the ground floor and he's always climbing all those fucking levels.
His landlord lives on the top floor.
God damn it. This guy.
What the fuck are you doing, Mario?
Why don't I kick him out?
It's me, Mario. Yeah, I fucking know. I'm trying to sleep.
It's 4 a.m.
Have you seen my dog?
That's my wife, you asshole.
Have you seen a Yoshi?
Have you seen Yoshi?
He's a dinosaur.
Oh my god.
Get a job, you fucking bum.
Sir, please stop punching your dog in front of me.
Please stop. And nobody called to get the toilet fixed.
Oh my. All right. All right.
Holy shit.
Oh,
Wow.
that was a good bit. That was a good bit.
The entirety of the Mario universe from game 1 to now is one night of tripping on mushrooms.
Oh my god.
He's just
Wow.
been living that whole. No, you know what? He's on ayahuasca tea. His whole
so,
life.
so,
He's just
so is
an
Mario
ayahuasca
Party?
experience.
Mario Party? Are those real friends, or is he just?
That's
fucking-
rehab. That's
It's
rehab.
called Mario
Yeah.
Party, man. What do you think?
No, that's rehab.
They're just playing Monopoly, but he hasn't solved it.
Corey said that. Corey said that's rehab.
So in Mario 64, is he just at a fucking like museum trying to jump into pictures?
No, he's in his bathroom.
he's just. I just see Mario jumping up against the wall.
I'm in
fuck's this
another
guy-
world, man.
What's this guy doing? Wow.
Oh,
Well, how do we transition from this, boys?
I first have to stop dying. Oh,
So
Holy
here's
fuck.
here's the thing about Knights of the Old Republic.
Oh, okay.
actually, that's a great game to talk about.
Well,
What'd you have to say? Okay, so I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion or not, but I personally think Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 have a better story than every Star Wars movie ever made.
That is really hard to argue.
I was curious where you'd stand. I know how to.
Obviously, I am a diehard Star. I'm wearing a fucking Darth Vader shirt right now.
Yeah,
But yeah, that the ending of the first one is just like one of the
what they
greatest
do,
twists.
the way they set up Darth Revan, just as I'm not okay. There's gonna be spoilers because this game is ancient.
And no. Hold on, they're coming out with a remake of this game,
Yeah, it's actually being remastered.
so I don't know if
sick.
I don't know if you should spoil it.
All right. I won't spoil it, but I'll say it this way: what they did with Darth Revan blew my mind.
Oh
and
my god!
made it a lot harder to please me with the story of a game going forward.
Yeah, that game spoiled me for. I love the old like the PS2 Battlefront games,
Oh yeah, they're fun.
Jedi Fallen Order, new ones. Yeah,
Boring. It's
Yeah.
not fun.
Jedi Fallen Order kicked ass.
I haven't played it. I heard it's
But-
not that good.
Ooh, but Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, yeah, those are cream of the crop Star Wars games. I never thought it's something that seems so simple. Take two of my favorite things, Star Wars, turn-based RPGs. You put those together and holy shit.
It's such a fun, and there's just so many cool things and like just different ways you could do stuff and like ways you could fuck up and lose party members or
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's just super fun.
You can literally, like, if you have enough persuasion, you can talk people into like walking off a cliff.
Who here hasn't played the first Mass Effect?
I've played, wait,
Cover your ears for a second. 'Cause
Hold on,
I have to
I'll
tell
just take
you-
my I'll just take my headphones off.
How I beat the first Mass Effect for the very first time. I had max persuasion, and when I was talking to the final boss, I actually talked him into killing himself instead of having to fight him.
shit.
So I never fought him until my second time playing.
that's awesome. That's doing Mass Effect right.
Yeah, I know. And I love that I had the option to do that. I really wish I saw more stuff like that going forward.
Yeah, you don't see those type of things like in games today. Mike,
I
pretty
know,
much
it's-
what we were saying was Wahoo.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Totally get it.
Thanks for
Fucking
spoiling it
spoiler.
for me.
Yeah,
yeah.
right.
You're welcome.
This
but
episode's
yeah.
just going to be called Wahoo.
Honestly, I loved that BioWare was pretty much like was it Bio? Did Knights of the Old Republic come out before Fable?
Knights of the Old Republic was 2003, so where does that put us?
Fable came out when I was in middle
Fable
school.
came out 2004.
All right, so Knights of the Old Republic had the good bad system first. I wasn't sure.
I knew that off the top of my head. I didn't Google it.
I can't remember what the first game with the morality system was, but BioWare is the one that really, like, every game they made had it. Mass Effect, Knights
Yeah,
of the Republic,
absolutely.
fucking Dragon Age, they were all about that morality system. Sadly, it's become really watered down and meaningless over the years, but it used to, like, affect the way you were treated, the ending
Yeah.
you got, and all this stuff. And now
BioWare
it's,
used
like,
to be
all meaningless.
so good.
And then Electronic Arts bought them, and here we are.
And here we are.
Fucking EA.
You guys are talking about Super Star Wars for the Nintendo, right?
Have you ever beat that game?
That
No,
game is
fuck
so
no.
hard.
It's one of the I beat.
This
I beat
game is so hard.
owned that game, and I sold it to somebody, and they bought it off me like years later, right? And then like a few months later, like he was like, "I just cannot beat this game. This game's impossible." I'm like, I never actually beat it, but then I sat down and beat it beginning to end for the first time, and holy shit, does that game get insanely hard?
I mean, it was a fun game.
Oh yeah, it's one of my more like proud game winning achievements. That game's a fucking hard.
I think I got to, like, when you start the game, right? You're like in this
in
running in
the
the
level,
sand. Yeah, I think I
Yep.
got to that part.
You're by the sand
To that
crawler.
part.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
you beat.
How'd you
beat the
make it
first
that
level
far?
in 30 seconds?
I did.
And then you have to climb into the sand crawler, which is fucking insanely difficult. You have to scale this fucking thing, and if you get hit, you fall all the way back to the beginning every time. It's so hard, and it's
Because there's just weird
Obnoxious.
things that don't actually exist in the Star Wars universe that keep hitting
it's
you.
a video game. Mike. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry, Corey. But what you're thinking of is Star Wars 2: Attack of the Clones. Anakin
Yes.
hates sand.
That's right.
That's the reason.
It's coarse and gets everywhere.
when they're in the ship and Padme gets knocked off when they're chasing Dooku. That's the reason Anakin doesn't stop, is because she falls into the sand.
I can't help her.
He's like, fuck her. She's on her own.
Keep going.
See, I wish George Lucas wouldn't have rewrote that script, because originally Obi-Wan's like, we should stop and get her. Anakin's like, I hate sand.
I can't do it. The sand.
To be fair, that must be hereditary, because when they were trying to kill Luke by pushing him into the Sarlacc pit, he really didn't want to go down there.
Yeah,
It was
Luke was
probably 'cause
having
of the
none of
sand.
that.
And he grew up in a desert.
Or it could have been
All
that
the
giant.
sand.
It could have been that giant monster in the sand that was going to
Oh,
eat
that's
him
right.
No. It
That's
was
right.
the sand.
and digest him for
You're
thousands
talking
of
about
years.
the Starlight Pit
The
monster?
giant monster was trying to keep him out of the sand. He was his
Oh,
friend.
yeah. See,
He's
I
like,
didn't
jump in here so you don't have to touch the sand.
I didn't get that movie at all.
Often missed detail. Okay, no big deal.
Yeah, Return of the Jedi is the worst one anyway, of the original trilogy.
That's a conversation for another
I was
time.
going to say, I'm assuming your silence means you all agree.
No, it meant I didn't want to argue about it in this saga
I know. Wahoo.
because it's better than the first one. But anyway,
That's going to be my new let's move on. Wahoo.
It's
fucking
a lot faster.
It is.
than
What did
Sephiroth.
Sephiroth?
Well, we talked about a bunch of like these older ones. What's some other than Last of Us? What's something? Any upcoming games that you get? Like, there's only a couple I've heard of because it's not really the time of the year for that. But like a few months ago, there was that Sony showcase that
Yes.
gave us a glimpse into the future of Marvel video games a bit. That Wolverine game, we saw no gameplay, got about a 20 second trailer and saw
Yes.
claws, and yet
it
I've
takes.
never wanted to play a game so
All
much
it
in my
takes.
life.
All it takes.
Yeah, definitely have to give major props to the Insomniac studio. Like, I just have to hope those
Instantly
people aren't
half
getting
chub.
yeah,
I'm-
some gaming companies
Half
have
you rookie.
reputation. Some gaming companies have reputations for overworking their workers. Hopefully, this isn't, because they're making Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Like, that's insane.
On top of like everything else that like Insomniac might be one of like best studios.
Well, why do you think they call it Insomniac?
Right?
Yeah, nobody sleeps there.
I've never heard a more appropriate.
So you want to get a job here at Insomniac? How often do you sleep? Oh, literally never. Perfect, your eye.
Yeah, somebody gets hired there. They're like, when do we sleep? And they just go.
Your
"We don't
shift
do
is
that here."
75 hours. You can go home after.
We don't do
75.
that
So Spider-Man 2 or Wolverine? Which one are you guys looking more forward
Wolverine.
to?
That's so hard for me because I'm so in love with the first two Spider-Man games that were made.
I'm gonna say
Yeah.
Wolverine just because I've already played. Like I kind of know what I'm expecting with the Spider-Man game.
You know, like what you're getting into.
Yeah.
But Venom.
And Kraven the Hunter.
I'm anticipating Wolverine more.
Wait, Craven's
Yeah.
in two? Is that
Yeah.
confirmed?
Did you not hear the voice like in the trailer?
That was Venom talking.
No, that wasn't Venom, because Venom says,
Oh.
"Yes, we will."
Oh, you're right. I guess I just assumed that. Is that Craven?
Yeah, it's totally Kraven.
Well, it's about fucking time we have Craven in something.
Yeah, Craven's sick. I want Morbius too.
We're getting Kraven the Hunter and Venom, bitches.
I want Morbius. Give me Morbius.
Wait, sorry, I
Jared
totally
Leto,
interrupted.
2022.
That
Jared
movie
Leto,
looks
20
sick, but anyway.
Yeah. I would definitely say, Spider-Man, I've already said, is my favorite superhero of all time. I guess I kind of have to agree with Mike, though, just on the grounds that I kind of know what I'm getting, and I'm still fucking really looking forward to it.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this Wolverine game.
I'm excited to see what they're gonna do with the Wolverine one, knowing what they did with Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's
There's not-
a really good way to say
I guess
that.
that's true, yeah.
Yeah, there's like I want the combat to be a little, even though the combat's actually quite complex and good in Spider-Man, I want it to be a little more deep in Wolverine, just because you're not gonna have like the flying around.
Yeah,
the
I was gonna
fucking-
say, I almost feel like it has to be because you don't have that extra.
Feels like he's definitely has to be more of a brute.
Yeah.
Or- yeah, because it's not like he has super speed and can't jump really high or anything. Like he can't. Like,
Yeah.
Can this game be rated M so you can see him like just stab people with claws and then
Just like
slice them completely in
decapitate
half?
them.
You
Blood
did see
everywhere.
the trailer, right? It looked pretty brutal.
It did look brutal.
He had blood on his arms. Like, I
So
don't
it's
think
just
he's
going to be
shying
rated.
away.
It might be rated M actually. Yeah.
T gets away with a lot more these days.
So if they go the route of Spider-Man has an obvious playground, which is New York. Where the hell are they going to put Wolverine?
Canada.
Yeah, Canada.
The deep
I mean-
forest of Canada.
So the whole so it's going to be
Well, the beauty of Wolverine is he's literally been everywhere. He's even lived in Japan and studied to be like a fucking samurai.
But he's clearly not in Japan in the trailer.
I know. That's what I mean. He could be
anywhere. That feels more like the bar he's in Origins Wolverine, if anything.
I mean, it looks like just a typical like dive. Like
I was going to say, if I had to take a guess, Texas, just because I see him wearing a cowboy hat. They're in Texas.
Maybe.
I hear it's bigger there.
What's Wolverine's real name? Logan Paul? Is that right?
No.
Oh my God.
I don't even know if we want that on the podcast. How dare we give that man any type
I'm not even going to say that name on recording ever. So
if you guys like Logan Paul, you should check out my YouTube channel, Baker Reviews, where I don't talk about Logan Paul at all.
And if you like Logan Paul, turn this off and never come back.
I disagree with him.
Wait, Logan Paul's listening to this? Wait, Corey, do you like Logan Paul?
No, I just don't want people to shut this off and stop listening.
Come back. He's like, no. Even though you do that, and I judge you for it, you can stay, I guess.
Corey's just a goddamn sellout. I just don't want anyone to turn off our podcast.
I'll love whatever you people want me to love.
I'll love whatever.
Corey's a podcast whore.
Show me all your love and appreciation, and I'll love anything and hate things that I love for you.
God of War Ragnarok.
What about
I'm so fucking excited for that
How pumped are you for that game?
I haven't played the last one, so...
Damn it, and Corey, this is another thing we can't spoil, but...
You can.
No, I mean, there's other people that maybe haven't played the first God of War.
It's been a few years. Just go for it.
Mike, have you played God of War? Will you ever play God of War? God damn it, Mike.
Take his headphones off for a minute.
Take the headphones off. So, the two twists in the original God of War, first with finding out that boy, Atreus is Loki. Fucking, that is such a badass twist. And then...
Really?
Yeah. At the end of the game, he's like, Mom, he said, the Giants had a name for me. They called me Loki. And Kratos just kind of dismisses it. And then the second twist is at the end of the game, it's like sometime after the story's complete, you hear something outside and there's a thunderstorm, and Kratos opens the door and he says, "Who are you?" And the guy just pulls his cloak back and you see Thor's hammer.
There's a hammer and has lightning,
has lightning around it. And now, by the way, they announced who's going to be his voice because they put out a trailer. It's Ryan Hurst. Is going to be Thor?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And for anyone expecting Marvel Thor, they're going to be sadly mistaken.
Yeah. It's not Marvel.
It's going to be a brutal motherfucker.
It is fat Norse.
Yeah.
Brutal.
This
Kill
dude
you,
is
Thor.
an asshole.
It's not going to be thank you, sweet rabbit.
No.
I'm going to fucking kill your whole family. It's going to be this Thor.
Yeah, but I'm just so excited for the sequel. As soon as when they were doing the Gamescom or whatever, when you saw the blue outline just starting to make the symbol, like I knew like 2 seconds into that trailer, I'm like, oh my God, it's happening.
Yes.
So yeah, I can't wait.
Exciting.
There's a lot of like the big AAA games of recent years I haven't actually played, so like there's so much I'm missing out on.
There is. I'm a huge fan of the Far Cry games, and I haven't got a chance to play 6 yet.
Yeah, I haven't. I love Far Cry.
I played a little bit of 5, a little bit of 3. I just can't stay interested in those games too
4
much.
is the best one. Skipped right over my favorite one.
What did you like Primal?
I love Primal.
Primal was the one that was the most interesting to me because it
my
had like all the
main
cool shit.
Weapons in all those games are like the quiet bows and the knives and Primal. It was all that. So
guns bore the fuck out of me. Like, so I'm like any game that's like a gun game, I always go out of my way to not use them. Like I'll melee kill. Like I'll play Call of Duty and only use the combat knife and shit like that.
Doug hates shooters.
Guns bore me.
I don't hate them. They're just like guns are just boring to me in real life and everything. I have no interest in them.
Guns bore me in video games except sniper rifles.
Ooh, I do love a good
sniper really kill. Enjoy sniping a target from hundreds of yards away.
I've never played them, but isn't there a game called Sniper?
There's a bunch of them. There's Sniper 1, 2, 3, Elite.
There's a lot of games like that.
There's a character called Sniper Wolf in Metal Gear Solid.
Absolutely.
Sniping's one of the few exceptions. Like, you play a character that can like do all this crazy shit with like a fucking sword or a fucking hammer, and that's sick. But who the fuck, your gym teacher could pick up a fucking shotgun and kill a whole room full of people?
That's true.
There's nothing fun.
Whoa, that's getting real. Damn, that really happens.
Why the fuck was it gym teacher?
Yeah.
That was
I
very
don't know. It's just the
specific.
first thing that came to my head of somebody that,
Zombie apocalypse.
who wasn't really skilled at anything.
These are
specific. I'm
sensitive
kidding.
times. Yeah, Doug, you literally could have said like you can pick up a gun and shoot zombies, but you said a gym teacher.
Well, you can't literally shoot zombies because they're not real.
Listen, them gym teachers.
You're talking about real world.
They're full of testosterone. You never know when they're going to go off the edge.
Gym teachers are either failed teachers or failed athletes or both. To all those gym
Man.
teachers listening, keep listening, please.
Please don't hit us.
Also, I hate soccer. I had to do a Daniel Tosh joke.
I like soccer. Anyway, but yeah, I don't know. It's just guns are except Borderlands because they make guns really neat and interesting. They do all kinds of cool
I do
things.
enjoy Borderlands.
Yeah, I played them for. If I had my hours for 2, 3, and pre-sequel together, it's over 1,000. So
I hate the Borderlands games.
I love
Couldn't
them.
get into
They're
them.
hilarious and fun.
They are funny. I've seen a lot of like the Handsome Jack stuff, and he is.
Handsome Jack is the
He is
best
funny as
villain
hell.
ever made.
But the game itself, I couldn't play it just to get to those parts. I don't know. I couldn't.
Once
get
you're a
into
little further along, it gets a lot more fun. At first, it's like you don't have any of your powers or abilities or anything, but as you get further, you get all these crazy cool.
I
things.
almost want to play the games just to see the movie that's going to come out.
I kind of forget about that, but yeah.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious what they're going to do with that still. But
Now, Corey, I don't want to sound shallow, but does like the cell shading, does that deter you at all? Does that like a turn off? Like the animation style?
That's one of the reasons I
Wow.
don't like.
that's literally my favorite animation style for video games. is
It's one of the
cel-shaded.
reasons I don't like that Zelda game very much.
Wind Waker. Wow, it's probably one of the reasons why it's my favorite.
The only game that had that kind of animation that I fucking loved was
Budokai.
no, well, Budokai was great, but no, what was that Spider-Man game with Spider-Man and Venom based on the Amazing Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man?
Ultimate Spider-Man, that's what it was.
Yeah, that was an awesome
it
game.
had that style, and it was a great game.
Yeah.
I played the.
Where you could be Venom and like absorb people, like suck them in
Yeah.
to get their health.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm kind of shocked. We were talking about all this Marvel stuff. We never touched on. Any of you ever play the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games?
Yeah, they're fun for a while.
I actually loved them.
Great multiplayer games.
They kind of fall into that whole Kakarot thing for me. Is the gameplay is pretty shallow, so after a while, it's just like doing
Yeah,
the same.
I
thing
do
over
get
and
that.
over and over.
That is where I was introduced to the character of Deadpool.
Oh, really?
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Yep. And then that's when I started like doing a lot more research and like reading the comics and stuff. So I owe Marvel's Ultimate Alliance to my favorite Marvel character. So yeah,
That's awesome.
it's got a soft spot for me.
It's a weird spot to discover Deadpool, but that's cool.
That's really weird that you like that game because of like nostalgia and soft spots. The reason I like it so much is because me and my son, he loved it. We used to play it together,
Oh, that's cool.
and he would only be the Human Torch.
I mean, the Human Torch is pretty awesome.
So I would always be Ghost Rider.
Chris Evans or Michael B. Jordan?
Never Michael B. Jordan.
Neither.
Michael B. Jordan's a great actor.
If Michael B. Jordan ever listens to this, he's great.
Yeah, whoever's the
That
Human
movie
Torch in
was
the next
not.
movie, that's the one I picked.
If Michael
That's
B. Jordan is in that game, it better be Killmonger because he killed that role.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a great role.
Or Creed.
Wow. Oh, yeah, I agree.
He can also be Creed.
Michael B. Jordan is a fantastic actor. We just
Yes.
nobody liked that movie.
And if you did, stop watching this and never come back.
I disagree.
No, don't leave.
Go watch a Logan Paul vlog.
Yeah,
I'll watch it with you guys.
I won't, and I'll never respect you.
Although,
Anyway,
although Logan Paul has an editor, Hillier Smith, who I'm very jealous of because he's a great fucking video editor. But that's all.
Why do you keep talking
why
about
do
him?
you know that?
Stop giving him
Are
clout.
you getting kicked off this podcast tonight?
I've watched Hillier Smith guest star on other like Think Media's channel, and he's a really fucking good editor.
Oh, okay,
Hey,
okay.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
Next week, this podcast is going to be 3 aging millennials. You know, in our outdated opinions.
I'll start my own podcast.
About Logan Paul.
I'll talk all about my fucking Mario theories, even though Corey came up with it. Wahoo!
I'll be
Oh.
joining Adrian on his podcast.
Corey, you want to come on my Dark Theory podcast?
I'm doing both.
It's actually going to be called Mario Minute. Each week, we're going to talk about 1 minute of the game.
Oh,
Well, that could vary depending on who's playing.
How about that part where you jump and hit the fucking block with your head?
No fucking.
You don't
way,
hit it
dude.
with your head. He punches it.
Oh, you punch it?
Yeah.
We'll see you guys next week. Where we talk about jumping over the first pipe.
Hey, there was nuance to that.
You kill one Goomba and jump over a pipe in the first
Wow.
first 5 seconons of the game.
Do you guys like how I made my first episode of the podcast and I already fucked it up? Corey's like, you don't hit it with your head, you punch it.
Yes.
But that's why you need me there.
I'm making a new Sonic Minute podcast.
Okay, what are you going to talk about?
Did you know in the first game you can't spin dash as Sonic? I got
Yeah,
that right,
that's why
right?
that game sucks.
Yeah, you got
I
that one.
hate the first Sonic. I hate it.
Yeah.
The first Sonic, I don't understand how
it got like a
how
series.
people think it's
Yeah.
better than any of the other ones. It's so you can't do anything that Sonic can do.
It's no mystery why the first game got Sonic off the ground and made
yeah.
sequels. It was great. It was innovative.
That was Tails that got Sonic off
See,
the ground.
Miles, Tails, per hour.
Again, not till the second game.
That's true.
I see your point. I start Sonic 2 was I got a Sega instead of a Super Nintendo when I was a kid. I wish I had a Super Nintendo, but I loved my Sega. And Sonic 2 was my first game.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't play Sonic 1 until later, and I thought, well, and at first I was like, man, I'm really not liking this. I thought maybe it's just nostalgia. But then I realized, wait, I can't fucking do anything. All the shit.
No, yeah. It was a great platformer, but you didn't have any extra powers. You couldn't do anything. You couldn't turn into Super Sonic.
You fucking. It was like, are you kidding me? I had
Yeah.
I had 2,000 coins. Why did I die? yeah. 2 just improved everything.
I'm willing to argue that like people that are purists and say the first Sonic is the best, like you don't really believe that. I'm sure
No.
there are some people that really do believe it, but you're wrong.
They're like Mike over here, and they just have to be different from everybody.
yeah, exactly. They just want to
I'm
be.
talking shit.
Mike's just putting his hands up.
What the fuck did I do?
I quit. No, I don't quit. I love you all.
I love you.
Wait, was that us or them? I don't understand.
Yes.
So
He does it for the people.
There you go. Good answer.
Yes. Oh my. But yeah, like Sonic though. Oh my. Let's talk about a franchise that I love so much that I still give it a chance every time, even though it's going to fail me. It's going to be awful. It's the relationship I just can't stay away from. And nothing about it is good. Everything is
Spoken
awful.
like a true kid who owned a Sega over a Nintendo.
Yeah. And I had the Sonic Trapper Keeper, the Sonic Lunchbox, Sonic Toys, Sonic. I was obsessed with Sonic, man. It
you
was,
love
like,
the
my
cartoon?
favorite. I watched the cartoon.
The cartoon was badass.
Oh, fuck yeah, dude. You love
and
chili
he
dogs.
was voiced by Urkel. Like, it was all sick. I loved it. I loved Sonic.
I do recall when I was a kid, one of my favorite stuffed animals was a Sonic.
That's
yeah.
sick.
Corey, do you remember when we were younger? Like we literally would go to Baker's all the time and get the chili dog special just
Hell
because
yeah.
of Sonic.
$1.25,
I played Sonic
2 chili
Spinball.
dogs,
I
a bag
played
of
the
chips, and a
Sonic
can of pop.
RPG on the DS. I played fucking everything. I tried everything Sonic. I owned Sonic 2016 and beat it. Let that
Wow.
sink in.
That's a testament right there.
Yeah.
I beat it. One of the worst piles of shit ever given to you for money.
Corey, when you were talking about the chili dog special, it made me think of Kronk when he's reading back the food order on Emperor's New Groove. I just
That was really random.
because Corey's like 2 chili dog special with bag of chips and
$1.25, 2 chili dogs,
Now I
bag
want
of
some
chips, and a
chili
can of pop.
dogs.
there it is. $1.25. What a fucking deal.
I know. Now you couldn't even get a bag of chips for $1.25.
You can get 2 chili dogs at Sheets for like $2.
We're showing our age, guys.
The fuck's wrong with you, Doug?
Oh, and since I said Sheets, that means everybody outside of Pennsylvania is going to go, what the fuck is a Sheets? Don't worry
That's
about
not-
it.
Sheets is
that's
the
not
same
true.
thing as
There-
Wawa and Quick Stop.
There are sheets. There are sheets all the way down to North Carolina.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's that? And everybody knows the United States is Pennsylvania to
It's
North
a
Carolina.
gas station that also sells food and like milk and eggs. Like,
And
it's
what-
like I know that sounds weird.
It's like the Midwest version of Quick Trip.
Yeah, nice. Wow, what a call.
I
What?
already said that.
Oh shit! I'm giving Mike all the credit. Mike,
Corey literally rattled off all of them.
guys, edit that out and just do the part where Mike said it. Wow, good. And then here's me reacting. Wow, Mike, that's a hell of a call.
No,
Wow, Mike, you're
I'm
such
not
a
going to
genius.
do that.
What? Yeah, what? Corey, what's the Philadelphia equivalent of Sheets? Isn't it Wahoo?
Wawa.
It's Wahlburgers.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's Wahoo.
I've had one. You know what? The one that I like the most that's in our area is, or in Pennsylvania is Rudders.
I don't even know what that is.
I've
I've
never
had
fucking
that.
heard of that.
Never been there.
It's a mid.
It's a midern. It's a midern.
It's a middle of this Pennsylvania thing.
Oh, you know
I
what's
have
crazy?
friends that live in Harrisburg and Mechanicsburg, and none of them have ever mentioned that, but they all go to Sheetz.
You're right. You know what's
Odd.
crazy? We've been talking about gas stations for 5 minutes.
I know it's well, chili cheese dogs and Sonic.
Oh, yeah,
Sonic
shit.
would totally go to a Sheetz, man. What are
Yeah.
you talking about?
Bro, right. And then Mario would be
Actually, Sheetz actually had it. No, wait, it was Sonic that had the Sonic ring sound every time you made a purchase.
right. Mario would be tripping on mushrooms, and he'd have Sonic. He'd give Sonic money to go get him some chili dogs. I'm a fucking up, and I can't find my dog to ride him.
He's just handing money to his hamster,
Right. His hedgehog.
his little hedgehog in a cage.
Hedgehog
Get
just
me
eats
chili
the
dogs.
fucking.
Mario's much more successful brother Luigi's there, while Mario's fucked up. Like, why are you giving money to your hedgehog? He gave me the chili dog. Wow.
But yeah, that's just I had to get that out there. Sonic is the most disappointing thing I've ever loved, but I can't stop loving it,
Yeah.
and I still try them. All the new ones.
Waluigi is what Mario sees when Luigi's pissed at him.
Holy fucking scary.
Oh my god! What
Oh
the
man,
And then Mario, whenever Mario gets too scared, he just runs to rehab to Mario Party.
no, that's where Luigi drops him off, and that's why he's always seeing Waluigi there.
when Mario's punching the dice, it's actually how many grams of coke he's getting. I'm gonna use a super mushroom to add 5 grams.
I mean, the theory it's been staring us in the face all along. If you just looked at it, you got mushrooms, little toad people, like mushroom people everywhere, fucking smashing bricks and stuff,
He
and
thinks flowers give him power.
living bullets.
Living bullets.
And the raccoon, the raccoon suit is literally he just killed an animal and wore its skin.
Oh my god! Same with the frog outfit.
Same with frog suit. Yeah. Do you think he tries to hop in like a big like? Do you think he tries to hop in his boots?
Oh yeah, you can get inside those shoes in that one level.
Doug, you screwed it up. We weren't supposed to say anything. We just wanted Mike to feel bad about himself.
Oh, I actually was like sitting there for a minute, like, what the fuck? Oh yeah,
I was thinking about it too.
Out of every fucking I've always wished that was incorporated more in the games. I thought that was a cool thing, but it was like 2 levels and that was it in Mario.
The
3.
boot, yeah.
Yeah, just shit like that.
Well, from all of us at Culture Shock. No, I'm joking.
Oh man, I can't think of anything else. Like nothing else current's coming out. Like if this is around like E3 time or Tokyo Game Show or
I am excited for next year.
what?
We talked a little bit about it off of mic or
Off air.
What?
off
What
air.
are we talking about?
There's not enough details, but I am super excited for the new Harry Potter game that's coming out.
Oh yeah, Legacy.
Yeah, it looks really
I don't
fun.
know that I've
It's-
ever been more excited for a game to come out. Honestly.
Yeah, like I don't have to fucking just. I had. Did you guys ever play the Game Boy Color Harry Potter RPGs that were like Final
Oh
Fantasy
my
but Harry
God.
Potter?
No.
There was only ever 2 of them. I still own them. They're incredible. They even had New Game Plus and like mini games and shit.
I played the one Harry Potter game for PlayStation where Hagrid looked like a fucking nightmare.
I've seen pictures
Yeah.
of that.
Are you telling me is that the Order of the Phoenix? Was that the game?
What, the one where Hagrid looks like that?
I don't know. I remember. Now I gotta look this up.
Yeah, it was fucking terrifying.
No, the games I'm talking about were it was just 1 and 2, because it was for the Game Boy Color.
Okay.
But they were RPGs. Like you got better equipment and you fought and you got in random and you had to fight enemies and level up and shit. But you played through like the story of the game of the first 2 like
that
movies
sounds
and
pretty
shit
cool.
while doing that. And then there was like all these mini games and like then there's the New Game Plus mode. After you beat it, you could go through New Game Plus where everything was harder and you got to start out with all your shit. And
Was it badass?
yeah, I like genuinely fun. Like if you like JR,
Wow.
they're like Final Fantasies. If you like games like that, they're a good time.
Why am I not aware that they literally made a Harry Potter game for every single movie?
Yeah. Are you joking? Like that printed money.
I'm not joking. I wasn't.
And they just got worse as it went.
That's probably why I didn't know about them.
There's so many Harry Potter games. There were handheld
I played
ones
Lego
that were
Harry
different.
Potter.
The Game Boy Advance
I'd
ones
be
were
both of
different from the
those.
console ones. The
Nice.
Nintendo ones were different from like the PlayStation ones.
Mike, you've never played Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Phoenix?
Oh,
You know that famous movie?
That's where
Harry Potter and the
that's-
Half-Blood Stoner. Oh wait,
yeah, that's where that's the one where Dumbledore kills Malfoy or something like
Alright.
that
with a sword.
with a sword,
the Goblet of the Philosopher's Stone.
gun, with a gun.
With the sword of Slytherin that only comes to those who need it.
He kills
She's like,
Draco.
"Fuck your one, Malfoy. I got an M60."
That was just a lady making up stories to her kids. He actually pulled out an AK-47.
I mean, I don't understand why in the Harry Potter world they didn't just shoot Voldemort. It could have gone over a lot easier.
Right between his non-existent nose.
He's like, "Hey Draco, what's the spell to stop bullets?" No, but Legacy. What we're trying to say here is Legacy looks amazing, and I know zero details about it.
Okay, so you basically you create your own unique character and you go through
You
your
get
own
to put
story.
yourself in the Harry Potter
It's not just like a
world.
movie game. Like it's, but I believe like what you do and stuff affects the story and things like that. So there's gonna
Oh
be
shit!
I think there's gonna be like all kinds of shit going on. I hope at least, otherwise what they're making it seem is a lie and it's gonna be a disappointment. But
Yeah, right. It's gonna be Kakarot all over again.
I know. I let myself licensed games like that are based off like movies and books and stuff always suck, but I always get excited every time.
Do you guys think you're gonna like get to pick your house?
Yeah, you get to design, you get to make your character. Like you're not just like generic guy number one. You make a character, you get to make what they look like and everything.
Oh my god!
And then you get the Expelliarmus everybody's ass.
Right, and then when we actually get the game and download it, it's like you're Henry Potts.
It's supposed to be like open world esque, just like in Hogwarts.
What if
grounds or
it
something.
just ends up being like Bully but Harry Potter?
I'll fucking play that.
I forgot about Bully. That's an old series,
Dude, as long as Rockstar does it, I'll fucking play it.
Yeah, there you
Well,
go.
that's
And
true.
Who made the Bully games?
Yeah, it's Rockstar.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you know what I wish Rockstar would do? A Star Wars game.
No,
A Rockstar
Why?
Star Wars
I
game.
do not
No,
want
he
GTA Star
automatically
Wars.
said no.
Why?
No.
I
No.
don't fucking want that game ever.
Sucks.
I'm just gonna jump in, steal a Millennium Falcon, and just start shooting people.
No, I don't want it. I don't want it to
I'm
ever
sorry.
happen. I don't want anyone to have it either. never make that game.
Honestly, I agree with Mike in one way. I don't want a whole game like that.
Right.
I would love a patch where you can go to a planet and just kind of do some Star Warsy stuff.
Yeah.
Like a fucking one-off mission or something.
Yeah, like a one-off mission where you go to space and you're like on Tatooine or something. And
Play Saints Row 4. You'll get all that.
Oh my god.
that's true. That's true.
See, the reason I don't like GTA is because Saints Row 3 and 4 exist. They just
I do love the Saints Row
Dude,
series.
the dubstep gun is one of the coolest fucking things I've ever used in my entire life.
talk about a fucking series that like it started. Saints Row 1 and 2 was a
A
fucking
carbon copy of GTA, right?
And then these wily motherfuckers are like, what if we just don't give a fuck and make this insane? And they did. In the fourth one, you literally are the president and the earth explodes.
What
and
if we
you're in
make this
space.
giant muscular clown character that you created the president of the United States of America?
But then blow up the planet, have aliens destroy the planet, and let you go into a Mass Effect ship that plugs you into the Matrix, where you have superpowers.
Pretty sure you're making this game up.
Dude, there's even a part of the game where a zombie apocalypse kind of happens.
Johnny Gat is the most badass character.
Oh, I've heard of Johnny
He's so
Gat.
badass that they
I know
made
that name.
a spin-off game where you go to hell and help him bust out of hell because even hell can't hold Johnny Gat because he
Jesus.
dies in one of the games. But you go in and kick Satan's ass and get him
He
back.
dies in the third game, I believe.
3 or 4. He's in 4 because of all the fucking crazy virtual shit going on that they can do whatever they want.
Does he come back from hell like Jason Voorhees?
No, he does it in
Yes,
a cool
he-
way.
He possesses people, and you have to go get the knife of his mother to kill him.
Because they didn't miss the opportunity. They even called the game Gat Out of Hell.
Oh my god, that's fantastic! Gat out of hell.
Those brilliant bastards.
Yeah, they know exactly what.
Sometimes you wonder, like, if a series of movies or TV shows, like, they name a character just for one little clever joke.
Like years down the road.
Years down the road. I'm pretty sure they named him that just for that game title.
Just so they can make this game years later.
They're like, we're gonna name him Johnny Gat. They're like, that's the dumbest name ever. They're like, no, wait for it.
Trust us.
It'll be
Wait
legend.
for it.
Wait for it.
Wait
and then
for
like
it.
14 years later, they drop the title. Dairy.
I will
Yeah.
say I would love to see a fucking TIE fighter just going through like Las Cruces, like just taking people out, talking about Mike's idea of Rockstar with fucking
Trevor running up the street. What the fuck?
The GTA Red Dead fucking formula does so little for me. I just can't get into those games.
Oh, I love Red Dead 2.
Unfortunately, now Rockstar has become such big asshats. Like
They kind of are anymore.
they tried to do the whole thing, like releasing the trilogy from the PS2
the
games
definitive edition.
for Switch, and everybody was complaining about them, not because they released them, but because they're just they're just so shitty.
Oh, they're horribly glitchy.
They did nothing to improve them. They're bad. They're just really bad. So that's why people are complaining.
I mean, there was no promise of improvement. It wasn't supposed to be like a remix. They were just making a pack.
There's super glitchy, like Doug said, and so people are bitching about it. And then so Rockstar, instead of owning up to a mistake or whatever, they just go, "Okay, no, we read you. Wow, I can't talk today. We read you loud and clear. We're just going to stop working on any other projects. We're just going to continue doing stuff for GTA 5, the game that's been out for 10 effing years.
Oh my God.
Fucking milking.
I mean, it's like Call of Duty. If people
keep buying
giving
it,
them money for it, why would they do anything else?
I mean, they even said that they're like, we're just going to we're not going to work on GTA 6 anymore either.
That's why the Madden games haven't had to improve in the last.
They were basically throwing a tantrum because their idea didn't work. Like, oh yeah, all right, fuck you guys.
Yeah, that's exactly why Madden 22 plays like Madden 14.
Well,
which played like Madden 13, which played like Madden 12, which played like Madden 11, which played like Madden 2003.
That's where you have to stop because 11 actually improved on 10.
I couldn't tell you how.
But anyway, Rockstar.
Unlike the Final Fantasy games, 11 did not improve on 10.
Well, they were just. I can't even compare an MMO and a regular game.
Rockstar wouldn't even give out those definitive editions to any like famous YouTubers or Twitch streamers for free to, to show everybody.
The only time that happens in the game industry is when the company that's releasing it knows it's bad and doesn't want any negative press before people spend their money.
Yes.
Any game does that refuses to give out the free copies of like the fucking community and stuff, it's always 100% because the game's shit.
It's ass.
Because they fucked up and they knew it, so they weren't letting anybody see it. And it happens like that every time that happens.
Which is a damn shame because I was really excited for these definitive edition 3 Vice City and San Andreas.
Like Rockstar really isn't the kind of company that normally like half-asses things. Like that's the one thing I've always given them credit for is they always like they even made a fucking ping pong game once, but it was the most in-depth fucking ping pong game you could imagine. And it was actually sick. I loved it. I got it for $5 in a bargain bin for 360. It was amazing. But like so it just blows my mind that they're going this route now. Like I don't know what to call that, what to say from that.
They're so heavily invested in milking this fucking cash cow they got in GTA 5 that they don't care about anything.
And it's still one of the highest selling games every year and continues to be.
It's because they've created, and I'll give them this because I enjoyed it a lot for years. It's hard for me to go back to it now. I'm just tired of it. I was a huge GTA 5 online person. It's basically you're living on the map, but you're your own person. You create your own empire, all that shit. Like it's like basically kind of like help me out here.
The Sopranos.
I don't know what you're going for. I'd help you out if I knew what you're trying to.
Like World of Warcraft, but except it's GTA.
Massive multiplayer online stuff has leaked into lots of genres.
But it was really fun. Like you try to build up all this like money. You try to make yourself like valuable. I've had Corey play with me a couple times.
Yeah, it was fun.
I own a lot of cool shit.
I don't want to brag, but I own a lot.
I was just super happy to run around a submarine.
I let Corey use my Batmobile.
Guys, I have seen Mike's parking garage. It's pretty badass. No, but like, I am also surprised they didn't really put much, polish into it or anything. Like, I just recently bought
just make them run correctly. Like,
yeah.
that's just
Like
shocking to me.
I just bought the Mass Effect Definitive Edition, and like they really polished up. I've only gotten into the first game, but they've really polished up like a lot of rough textures from the original.
Oh yeah,
And
they actually put a lot of work into that.
put a lot of work into it. I'm excited to get to the second one.
I watched my friend replay through them because I wasn't gonna buy them because I own them already on PC, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy these just for updated textures.
Right.
And oh my god, it was ridiculous what like they fixed a lot of problems. One, the original one had so many bugs and like issues and was like stupidly hard in certain parts, like for no reason, and they fixed all that in the remake. And like watching him play through it, it was like, holy shit! I look at one with rose-colored glasses. This game is a train wreck and a mess. But two held up. But
two
one
holds
was
up.
Like, my god, there was this scene because he was playing Renegade because it was hilarious, and he named his character Johnny Shep, and this is what Johnny Shep does: Renegade option every time. And there's this one scene where he's like, he has a gun pulled on him, and he's aiming his gun at like some dude's junk or something, and he's like, oh yeah, you better not shoot me because I was going to shoot you in the knee. But no, he was aiming it clearly at his face, but he's like, I was about to shoot you in the knee. It was like, yeah, his knee on his face. It's like and then the eyes would just wildly like be up in the air looking in random directions and shit. It was like, holy shit, I do not remember any of this from when I played it as a teenager.
Is this the same game?
That is what nostalgia can do to you.
Oh hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Mass Effect 2, one of the greatest games ever.
Yeah. And I was held one to the same standard, but after seeing it again, I was like, I'm wrong.
It's not on the same level.
Oh, this game is a mess.
Speaking of the greatest games ever being remade, I really, really wish I had a Quest 2 so I could play the Resident Evil 4 VR.
Oh my god,
I watched a couple videos of it, and it looks amazing.
I don't think I'd be able to get through that.
That looks like a really good time.
I've heard of VR beautiful. Resident Evil 7 being just like way too terrifying.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's amazing. I played. Resident Evil 7
I would never
VR.
be able to do that. I would never be able to get through it. I won't even be able to play it normally, let alone in VR.
I mean, in your defense, Resident Evil 4 isn't nearly as terrifying as Resident Evil 7.
Have any of you actually used one of the new good VR things? Have you ever worn them before and seen what it's like?
I haven't.
It is so much more like incredibly immersive than you realize. The
only one I used was the PlayStation VR, but it was a really good one, and it was completely canceling noise around me. Like I could only focus on the game.
My buddy has one of like the Oculuses or whatever, and
that's where the Quest 2 is.
And I put it on. I played Subnautica on it for a while, and I was just swimming around the ocean for like an hour, just having the best time, just looking this up. You literally just it's so well done that you literally like. There's like these like mini game things built into it to showcase it, and one of them you're like standing in this like really high building, and you can look out over the ledge, and I literally like got nauseous to my stomach because I felt like I was on the edge of a building. It was so real. You really, really feel like you're in it. Like it, I can't explain to you what it's like to put those helmets on. You're in that. You're in it.
When they came out with all this, one of the first things they used to give people to test was standing on a building and looking down over the edge, and you could fall off. You could jump off the edge. And they were having problems with people being so immersed that they were going headfirst and smacking off the ground.
Yeah, I recommend sitting down because you could very easily like lose your sense of balance and just fall because you're not actually walking to walk, which is the most confusing part. But you have to actually like reach out and grab things with your hands and shit, and then you grab it and it's grabbed. Like it's crazy how well done it is. It's so much more than I ever would have dreamed when I was younger about stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you feel like VR is ever going to become like an entire section of gaming, like more than just its niche? Like, do you think it's going to be as commonplace as like...
It's already becoming like that. It's
as commonplace as like PlayStation and Xbox?
Yeah, easily. It's heading in that direction fast.
They're actually really
Can you
big
stream
companies.
it?
Yes.
Can you stream it?
I've been watching streams of it.
Mike, why do you ask? It's not like any of us stream games, do we?
I mean, I do over at Mike's Nostalgia on Twitch.
Oh my god, how do you spell that?
Yeah, because I don't know either.
MYCAN, like the word lichen, because I'm a hairy motherfucker. And nostalgia is spelled as nostalgia.
Spell it.
Nostal. No, did I fuck that up?
You're on the right path.
You're there.
Just come on,
I wanted to
finish.
I wanted to put you on the spot.
Why did you do this to me? I froze.
Dude, it spelled exactly like how it sounds.
Yeah. Nostalgia. Why
Hey,
did I stop on the L? I don't know why.
You got all scared about the G.
Hey, Professor Mosby there. It's
Strong finish, Mike. Good plug.
It's your channel. You should know how to spell it.
How many
Yeah,
F's
fuck.
are in Professor Mike?
I love that scene. He goes up at the second F and then it's like, no.
So Mike, when will you be streaming?
Usually on Saturdays, not this Saturday, but Saturdays from 6.
This Saturday means
Yeah.
nothing.
This Saturday
This is coming out
literally-
weeks from now.
Oh yeah,
That's true.
just start over and just say Saturdays.
I will be
So-
streaming on Saturdays.
What time?
Mike, just start the whole thing over. Give us a full description. So Mike, when do you stream?
You got to
I
get
stream-
used to like having these kind of answers ready if you're going to be streaming. Mike.
I stream on Saturdays, usually from 6 to 8. It's a 2-hour stream, and it will be the whole point of the stream is I play older games because that's the nostalgia factor of it all. Occasionally, once a month, I will play a newer game just to kind of get the feel of it, keep things a little newer. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to older games. I've been working on Final Fantasy X.
Hell yeah.
Good. You should definitely check that out.
2 hours every Saturday. That's only going to take you 14 years.
That's what I told him last week.
You should have started with like Mario.
Well, when I get more time, right now I don't have enough. I don't have
Something
enough time
easily
in the week.
digestible.
But once I have more time, I'll stream more than one day a week. But right now, it's only on Saturdays.
And Mike has a nice setup now, so he's a pro gamer.
He can do some sick 360 no scope stuff and then blaze it.
We are setting him up for failure.
And I'm not finishing the last part because it's a dated reference.
That's what we do.
We have outdated opinions and
No. I
references.
can't finish this reference.
Oh,
That's
Oh, is it bad?
yes.
wow. Sounds like a good time, Mike. So that's Mike's Nostalgia. Saturdays. Tune
6 to
in.
8.
That's
6 to
6
8.
to
I
8
totally forgot the time.
Eastern time.
6 to
that's
8 Eastern Standard Time.
Because we actually have had people watch this from every country except every continent except South America. So
What's up to our number one fan in Germany? Is it Germany?
It's
yes,
Germany.
Yes, it is.
We love you in Germany.
For those of you in Frankfurt,
Da?
How do you know he's from
Danke.
Frankfurt?
because analytics are powerful.
Yeah, right. You screwed up by giving.
He's
screwed
gonna
up by
stop
giving it
listening
app
now. We know where he
permissions.
is.
Or it could be a girl. Why are we assuming it's a he?
That's true.
Because 80% of our
Anyway,
listeners
let's
are
move
dudes.
on.
Because I also know that because of analytics. Anyway, what was the last game he talked about? Because I got really distracted by Mike's really bad first plug.
Yeah,
It'll get better.
Mike, you'll get there. Wait, so we were talking about VR, Resident Evil 4 VR.
Oh yeah, VR tech has gotten way, way, way better than you think. It's going to probably eventually replace what we are used to.
I hope so, because it is a lot of fun. The
Altogether.
little bit I've gotten
Yeah.
to do, it's such a different experience gaming. I can't even explain the difference.
Yeah, the biggest thing holding it back is literally 25% of people can't wear the headset for more than 20 minutes without a headache. My friend that owns the Oculus can't even use it, but I was able to sit down and play it for over an hour.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, he like literally gets sick, like horrible crippling headaches within 20
He's watching.
minutes every
He's
time.
watching you have fun on his console.
And I was like, man, he's like, how do you feel? I'm like, oh, fine, what's wrong? He's like, damn it.
And it's not only the headache thing. A lot of people, the way
Motion
you look
sickness.
around, the motions are making people sick.
Oh yeah, I
Motion
see that.
They gotta
sickness,
figure out
vertigo,
how to
all kinds of
kinda-
things.
I don't know if they can chip that or chop that down so it's a little less. I don't know. It's hard to explain. Just watch anybody play it online. Even the
Yeah.
YouTube videos of people playing it. Sometimes I'm like, whoa.
And
That
you
was a
see
little
how
too
much
much.
they move around, and that's like when you're like,
Yeah.
say you're in a game that puts you in a forest. To look around the forest, you have to literally look around the forest. Like you have to have space to use this thing. You're not just sitting there unmoving.
It's
You're
best in a swivel chair, sitting in a swivel chair with room around you.
Yeah. all backed up from like the walls and table because you will
Yeah.
be flailing your arms around.
And you won't know
Mhm.
which direction you're facing because
you lose track of where you are.
You'll be half turned around, and then you'll get to the next scene, and it will center you again. But then you turn again, you won't know where you
You'll
are.
forget you're not in the game. Like it's that crazy. Like you like forget that you're just sitting in a chair somewhere. You're like in this fucking ocean swimming around.
I got to play
fighting
like
off sharks.
I got to play like 4 hours of Resident Evil 7, and it was
That's gotta be rough. That's
deep
gotta be
within the
trippy.
Baker house, like when Jack's chasing you in the garage.
Oh god, yeah.
I got to play all that stuff in VR, and down in the basement when you first come across the mold monsters.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible.
Resident Evil 7 would be terrifying on VR.
It is. Legitimately scared the shit out of me, and
I've heard it's like one of the most terrifying experiences.
It scared
like,
the
period.
shit out of me.
Like you're not just playing a game where you're a guy in a house. You are the guy in the house.
You are
running
right.
From these
I
psychos.
wasn't sitting when I started playing it, and I wasn't even at a scary part. I was just walking around the Baker Mansion, and I heard like creaking, and I was like, "Hey, somebody put a chair." I gotta sit down.
Because like this headset, like it covers your ears and everything. So
right, so you're fully immersed.
You're in this place.
And the game, and Resident Evil 7, if you've ever played it, it really lends itself to VR because you like unintentionally make so many noises when you're walking around the house. So you're probably like constantly looking around like, what the fuck was that? And it's like, it's you.
That's one of the best parts about the VR, at least the little bit I got to play, is no matter what sound you hear, you can almost pinpoint it like it's real life. If it's up in this top left corner, something fell up here, you look up there. Your brain, where you're hearing it, takes you exactly.
Binaural audio or something like that, where you can like hear where it's coming from. Like
it's just spatial.
Yeah, they incorporated that in Resident Evil 2 remake, like where you can hear where Mr. X is coming from. Yep. If you have a headset on, you can literally hear where he is. Like,
speaking of which, a company just did an entire mod of Resident Evil 2 in VR, the remake.
Did they?
And it's gorgeous.
Oh my god.
They don't have the budget to fully make the game. Like if you look down and turn your hand, your whole wrist will like twist like almost off of your hand. And if you look down and do a circle, like you kind of go into the neck and stuff.
So you pretty much become Ethan Winters. Your hand just falls off.
there are some limitations to the tech for now, but as always, that will get solved one way or another.
My favorite part about the Resident Evil 4 one is you have to reach down with your right hand to grab the gun, and when you're empty, you have to reach with your left and grab a clip and put it in.
That's badass.
You have to actually reload your gun.
What we know as VR right now, I don't think is going to be what replaces what we're used to with like the controller stuff, but what comes next, I think, is going to be what replaces
If
everything.
any of you have seen Ready Player One, that's the future.
Yeah, right.
Which is really similar to a fucking episode of Futurama from the 90s where they go into the internet. They go into the internet, and that's kind of what I've always
That is an awesome episode.
That's what I've always wanted, and I'm waiting for that day.
So, Corey, you're saying
Ready Player One stole an idea from an episode of Futurama from 1999.
So, Corey, you're saying Resident Evil 4, it's not Leon that says it, but it's you that says, "Where's everybody going? Bingo."
And when you're asked what you're buying or selling, they're asking you.
Oh my god! And then you just pull out your gun and shoot the merchant right in the head. Like it's not hard mode; he'll reappear.
But yeah, VR. You got to give it a try if you have a chance. Hopefully, you're not one of the chances are 1 in the 4. Me and Corey are both good, so
I played it for
if 1 in 4 people can't use it,
it's either Mike or
one of you guys are screwed.
Mike, I hope you're not streaming VR.
Because I'm not going to be the guy that has problems, damn it.
I don't know. It might be me. I don't know.
It's funny. A couple of my friends that all like were super excited for VR and like 3D and all this stuff. They're always the ones that have like the problems with it.
Yeah.
Like my friends that can't watch 3D movies, but I do it every chance I get. And like, I'm the one that cranked my 3D setting on my 3DS to the maximum because it didn't give me a headache and shit like that.
You can fully immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, I'm very glad.
1 in every 4, they say, can't handle the VR.
It's literally 25% of people.
Wow.
Their brains just can't process it correctly. It fucks with them.
They also say 1 out of every 4 guys is in defeat.
That's Mike.
Oh, that's me.
I was waiting.
That's Corey. Okay.
Okay. Well, we found
feet actually gross me out.
Oh.
They also say 1 in 4 guys and eventually gets kicked out of a podcast.
You know,
That's gonna be, that'll be me.
oddly enough, they also say 1 out of every 4 people that watch Baker Reviews videos subscribe to his channel immediately.
And the other 3
they,
do it eventually.
they never.
They never come back.
Come back. They tank my retention rate.
Yeah, that's why this. What's the saying go? Please remember to like, share, and survive.
Also,
Hey,
one
I like
in
that.
4 men experience erectile dysfunction.
While watching Baker Reviews.
Wait, only 1 of 4?
No. 1 in 4 guys with erectile dysfunction has it cured by watching Baker Reviews.
Hey. Guys, I do some sick B-roll of attractive women, okay? If you guys have been dying to see a review of this holiday's biggest hit, Home Sweet Home Alone, go check that out now over on Baker Reviews.
What the hell is Home Sweet Home Alone?
So
It's the new Home Alone movie. How have you not heard of it?
Home Sweet Home Alone.
I want to stop this conversation right here.
So Home
All right,
Sweet Home
anyway.
Alone shows Max Mercer, a child who's left behind as his family goes to Japan.
I'll find out when I go to Baker Reviews on YouTube and watch it.
Was that Baker Reviews on YouTube?
I think it was Baker Reviews on YouTube. Anyway,
And Mike, you stream?
Mike and nostalgia.
Let's try this one more time. We don't even have to keep this in the episode. Mike, give us your best. I just gave a few. Doug gave me good plugs, and he doesn't even have my channel. So, Mike, I want to hear a good plug for Magic Mikins. Nostalgia, or whatever the fuck it's called.
It's called Mikins Nostalgia over on Twitch. We stream Saturday from 6 to 8, 2 hours of any old game that you might feel super nostalgic about.
say I live in California. What time am I going to be watching it at?
You'd be it's 6
You'd be
to
watching
8
it from-
Eastern
You'd
time.
be watching it from 3 to 5.
Mike's like, it's just fucking 6 to
In
8.
California, you'd be watching it 3 to 5.
Forgive him. He's not used to interacting outside of his area.
Mike,
Is it 3 hours behind?
Mike, will you
3 hours
also
behind,
take,
right?
will you also take suggestions and maybe play those games?
Absolutely, I'll take suggestions and play those games, even if they're games I've never played before.
As long as that suggestion is through a donation offer, then yes.
See, I don't ask for money over on YouTube Baker Reviews. But if you want to support my Patreon that I haven't set up yet.
Guys, I don't have any extra things going on, but I'll take money.
And I don't have anything going on, but if you just want to give me money, you can send it to P.O. Box.
375 or whatever I said earlier.
Unmarked bills only, please.
Corey, you forgot your real P.O. Box?
My completely real, I have it. P.O.
Does
Box.
any of us have a P.O. Box?
I used to.
I kind of like how this went. This is a really different style from our normal thing. I just think this episode kind of went pretty well.
But hey, listeners, why don't you let
So
us
if this
know?
never comes out, you'll never hear this, and yeah. But if it does come out and you do hear it, let us know what you think, because I think we like it. I think that's kind of does it for our first just foray into the whatever that comes off the top of our head kind of episode.
Just winging it, man. Just winging it.
Yeah, it's different change of pace. This won't be every week or anything like that. But
Swing.
I'm good at improv.
anything else you guys want to mention before we wrap this up?
Give me a place. Give me a place.
Tulsa,
Tulsa, give me a time.
7:34 a.m.
In Tulsa at
I use
7:34
24
a.m.,
blocks.
you can watch Magic Miken on Twitch from 7:34 to 9:34.
Oh,
He will
shit.
Whenever
You
you
will
want,
stream
if you check out the
nostalgic
VOD
games.
later.
But Corey, where would that be Eastern Standard Time?
That would be at 9:32.
No. I have no idea. He's probably right.
That brings us to the end of the show. As always, thanks for listening, and if you enjoyed it, please remember to subscribe on whatever platform you like to watch, or, well, rather listen to these on. From all of us at Culture Shock, thanks for listening.
Wahoo.